Hey team, how y'all doing? Let me just click to go live on Facebook. Here we go. I plugged in my mic today because I only have two things plugged into my computer. Normally I have like about four things plugged in, so I don't get to use the mic. So let me just check that everything is up and running in Facebook. Hasn't been showing me the comments in Facebook for a long time, which is very annoying, but nothing I can do. So it just means I have to go into the Facebook group and look at the comments. I'm currently in our dining room, which doubles as a pool room, as you can see, and all the furniture from my home office is in here because we are getting my home office decorated, actually, which is beautiful. So I'm working here in the dining room at the minute, and everything's all over the place. So please excuse what I look like. Yeah, I'm actually just distracted by when I look down. I opened my phone to go in and look at the comments and look, and then I was like distracted by this video of like Lindsay from Luso Tan. Look, someone literally just threw tan all over her. That was actually quite funny. Let's watch this again. Look, it actually went in her mouth. Hang on, I have to show you this, what they did to her. Look. Look. It went in her mouth. Oh my god, I cannot believe they freaking did that to her. Sorry, I was completely distracted there. Whenever I went to open Facebook to get the questions. Oh, poor Lindsay, that was absolutely terrible. Anyway, I hope you're all doing really well today. Let me just go into the group and pull up the questions for this Q&A, assuming there are lots of questions, which I think there will be after you all crapped yourselves the other week whenever I cancelled the Q&A because there were no questions. I don't think we'll ever not have any questions ever again after that debacle. Everyone's crapping themselves now. They're like, must ask millions of questions in case Kim cancels it. Okay, I am live. Let me say a few hellos. Turn that down. We have Mimi is here, Tammy Peatfield, Ingrid is here, Tanya Moss, Anne Nairn, hello my darling, Rosalind is here, and Caroline Bradley is here as well. Good to see you guys. We have Maiken is here, Maiken Hedgeguard, and we have Misha is here too. So good to see you guys. Let me go and find the question. Sorry, not the question. Let me go and find the graphic while you guys all jump on. Oh, it's not in featured. That's weird. Where is the graphic? Normally it is in featured, but it is not in featured. So where would it be? There we are there. Kim, live Q&A on a Wednesday. Posted on the 10th of March. That was, I wonder, did someone post a question for post a graphic for this week? It doesn't. I'm like, it doesn't look like there was one posted for this week. I don't know what happened. That's absolutely terrible. So I guess we're just taking questions live because there isn't actually a graphic being posted for this week. Let me just check with the team before we start. Hey, was there... Oh, Maya must be watching. She says it's posted under featured. I am in featured and I can't see it. Okay. Oh, there it is. Why was it not there? That is totally random. Okay, thank you, Maya. I was like, there is no graphic under featured. Mine wasn't showing a graphic. It wasn't there. Okay, it's there now. I was like, that's so weird. And there are lots of questions on it, which is wonderful. So let me just see what they are. Where are we? Okay, here we go. And do you know what else I did? I made myself a wee cup of Earl Grey tea. I drink too much coffee. Well, I don't really. I have like 2, sometimes 3 cups of coffee a day. But if it gets too late in the day, I've already had 2 cups today. And if it gets too late in the day, it's 4 p.m. here now. I've been sleeping so well. Let me just tell you guys what's been happening. Let me take a drink of my tea. I have a cup, like a massive mug of Earl Grey tea. This is like the largest cup you'll ever find in Belfast. Like, look at the size of it. It's enormous. And I just made my husband a cup as well and handed him a cup of tea. And we never drink tea ever. But I saw the Earl Grey in the cupboard. I thought, oh, that's really nice. I'll have a cup of that. And I handed it to him and he was like, this is the largest cup of tea I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like a pint of tea, actually. Oh, but it is delicious. Let me take another wee bit. Try not to slurp it. Let me tell you what's happened. I started working from home again. I closed up. My office, well, I haven't closed up because I still go there, but I sent all the staff to work from home so I could work from home. And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. My life is completely transformed. I am so much less stressed. I sleep like a baby every single night. I get to see my kids and my family all day. I feel completely relaxed. I wake up in the morning. I feel so happy not knowing that I don't have to go to the office every day. I don't know what it was. I think I was in the office so much. I used to get there in the morning and not leave until about 9 o'clock at night. And I felt like I never saw my family. I never saw my kids. I found it very hard to switch off. And now that I'm working from home, I feel so relaxed. I get so much done. I sit in my home office, which I created, which is absolutely beautiful. And I have a fire in there and these gorgeous couches. And I have my beautiful piano music playing in the background. And I just have the most wonderful time. And it's just lovely. So just thought I would tell you that that's how my life is right now. Okay. Let me get to some of these questions. Ingrid Marion says, lovely Kim. Oh, lovely Ingrid. Lovely Ingrid. So nice to see you here. We're almost at the finish line, she says. How do we continue after the 6 months with the Extreme Menopause Body Makeover program? Do we alternate? Build, shred, build, shred. Thank you. So what I would recommend, Ingrid, if you have completed a shred program at the end of your Extreme Menopause Body Makeover, I would then go back into a build. There is no reason that you would build for 3 months and shred for 3 months. In fact, what I would recommend for everybody is that you focus on building muscle for at least 12 to 18 months. I have not seen anyone in the Extreme Menopause Body Makeover group that would have what I call sufficient muscle. Now, what do I mean by sufficient muscle? Sufficient muscle is you have definable, visible, good, chunky, solid muscle in your body. Why have I not seen much of that in the Extreme Menopause Body Makeover? Because most of you have just not been training for long enough. Now, there are many of you who I have seen who do have a lot of muscle, which is great. But in order to build proper, sizable, sustainable muscle, which is going to keep your body strong, keep your body healthy, keep you healthy, strong, fit in the long run, you have to train for about 3 years. You have to, a minimum of 3 years. I've been training for 9 years now. In fact, 9 years I've been training for. And you have to train for a long time in order to build solid, mature muscle that will keep you healthy in your old age. And I would not shred again until you can look in the mirror and say, dear God, I've put on a lot of muscle. And really feel like your legs are solid, your glutes are solid, your shoulders are solid. And when I mean solid, I don't just mean good. I mean solid as in like they are solid, as in like they're strong, they're chunky, they're visible. I would keep going with muscle building until you reach a stage where you're like, time to shred it off and see what's underneath here. The problem with shredding is most people start to diet because they feel fat, right? They go, oh, I just feel too fluffy. I just feel like I want to change my body. I want to be thinner. I want to be leaner. And so shredding, the decision to shred usually with most women comes from a feeling of being overweight. And that's what they use to determine whether to shred or not. The problem is, it's usually not based in reality in terms of, it's not like bodybuilders only shred whenever they have a stage show coming up. Or, I mean, I'm on a long, slow shred at the minute, but not to get into any kind of stage shape, just because I wanted to shred off a bit of body fat. I wanted to look leaner. I wanted my clothes to fit better. And now I'm just kind of cruising on my calories. I'm not even doing any scheduled cardio. I'm just moving and doing cardio whenever it works for me. I am enjoying this stage now of just shredding off a little bit of body fat. But my goal is now just to stay strong. That's all I want. I just want to be super strong, want to have visible muscle, and I just want to maintain the body composition that I have built. But unless you're there, unless you can look in the mirror and say, I am so happy with the amount of muscle that I've built, then you need to keep building. That is what I would say. So don't go into don't think, build, shred, build, shred, build, shred. Think build now, right? Think build until I'm so fed up with building, and I've been building for so long that I have so much muscle, my body has completely changed. And then think about doing a diet. But until you reach that point, I wouldn't even think about it again. Let me take a drink. Let me just read the next question while I take a sip of my tea. It's cooled down so much, and at this point, it's not a sip, it's a gulp. Okay, Lisa Jacobson has a lot of questions. So let me just have a wee glance through them first. As we are approaching the end of Extreme Menopause Body Makeover, how do I reintroduce certain foods into my diet moving forward, like carbs? I've been eating to the principles without the beans. Okay, well, that's not eating to the principles, Lisa. Having protein powder daily, having a cheat day each week. I chose to stick with the phase 1 lean build diet and didn't move into the shred. I've been doing the follow along home workouts and changed to the phase 2 recordings when that started. I'm lower than my goal weight. Okay. My body has changed totally. I love that. I've built muscle and strength. I'm really happy with the changes I've made. So here, from where do I go from here? On a side note, which is related to my question, moving forward with the EMBM lifetime coaching that we purchased as part of the program, how do we access that if we aren't moving into the app format? And who will be doing the coaching and how regular will the coaching be? So I'll answer that one first, Lisa. Coaching stays exactly the same. You access it in the same way. You access it from the same link. The coaches are not changing. Everything stays the same. So nothing will change. Although, actually, sorry. Something will change. Instead of it being me on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm not going to be Mondays and Wednesdays anymore. It's going to be, as far as I know, I don't know. Is it Mondays? When's the coaching? Tuesday and Wednesday is the coaching. Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I think, so I think it's going to be twice a week Zoom coaching. And then I think Dr. Rachel's going to do her call once a month as well. So as far as I know, everything is staying the same. I don't know if there is something different than that. Outside of me coaching on a Monday and a Wednesday, the Zoom coaching stays the same and you access it in the same way. So how do I reintroduce carbs? Well, Lisa, what I would recommend is that you start tracking. Tracking is the only way that you're going to be able to consistently measure your results. I'll just close this up. If you have been eating to the principles and eating intuitively, there's kind of two ways you could do it. So you could work out what your total daily energy expenditure is, and then you could eat to that total daily energy expenditure, and you could you could track your calories and your macros, and which will ensure that you're not overeating. And if you continue to train, you continue to put on more muscle, then your metabolism will continue to raise and you can continue to put on more body fat, or you continue to eat more calories. So that is the way that I would recommend. The tracking your macros and calories if you want to reintroduce foods that you have previously cut out. And I'm definitely not on board with you having cut out all carbs, like cutting out beans and lentils, because they are like really important. But if you have cut them out, it's fine. You've obviously got good results from it, but it definitely isn't a sustainable way moving forward. But the beautiful thing about counting your macros and calories is that you can really eat anything. You can eat lentils, beans, rice, potato, sweet potatoes, seitan. You can eat fruit, you can eat yogurt, you can eat anything that you want. Nothing is off limits whenever you count your macros and calories. So that is 100% what I would recommend that you do. Now, if you don't want to do that, what you could do is continue to eat the way you're eating and just add in other foods gradually. So you could add in some oats for breakfast, or you could add in some sweet potato at lunch, or you could add in some lentils or beans or sweet potato or white potato or whatever at dinner. So you could add these different things in and just see how your body responds. And as long as you keep measuring your progress and taking your progress pictures every single week and measuring how what you're doing is affecting your body composition, then that is one way you can do it without tracking. The one thing that you cannot do in order to continue to move forward and get results is stop measuring. You have to measure something. And when I say measuring, it doesn't necessarily have to be your macros and calories. It can be measuring your body composition, but you have to be taking weekly progress pictures. Weekly progress pictures are really the only way for you to measure if what you're doing is moving you closer towards your goal or further away from your goal. So you have to keep measuring. And as long as you keep measuring, you can 100% just keep eating the way you're eating, but just introduce small amounts of carbs. And I definitely would start with things like butternut squash or pumpkin or sweet potato, quinoa, couscous, things that are not inflammatory carbs. White potato, rice, those are really good carbs as well. So you could add those in, but if the benefit of measuring them is that you'll know exactly how much to eat. So like, for example, today I had 40 grams of lentils for lunch. I had red lentil soup for lunch with half a portion of seitan chicken. For dinner, I'm having 200 grams of sweet potato. again with another half a portion of seitan chicken. So I've cut down my portions of seitan chicken to half of what they were before, because I enjoy having my protein powder desserts in the evening, and I'm enjoying having my protein shake post-workout. So eating 5 times a day has really suited me, and I found that I was too full to eat all of the seitan portion at lunch and dinner, and so I've cut that in half, which has left more calories for other things like carbs, like sweet potato, like white rice, which I love eating now. It's very gentle on the stomach. I don't eat as many beans. In fact, I don't eat beans at all anymore because they really just cause me a lot of digestive discomfort. I can eat red lentils. Those are totally fine. Black beans are fine in small quantities, but I've really enjoyed adding in lots and lots of other food. I eat strawberries now, blueberries. I've never really been big into fruit and stuff. The other week I had an absolutely beautiful mango. Again, all tracked in my calories. I have started eating vegan yogurt as well, Greek yogurt, which has been lovely to add into my diet. So I have all of these things now that I can eat because I'm tracking them. And so it's been really, really, really nice to open my food repertoire of what I can eat because I'm tracking, and I'm still not on huge calories. I think I'm only doing 1,600 tracked calories Monday to Friday. Now I'm eating a lot more than that on the weekend, so it actually pushes my calories up overall. But I think I'm probably tracking about 2,000 calories a day, I would say, over a 7-day period, which for me, given that my TDEE is about 2,600 calories, like that's pretty low for me, which is good, which is why I've continuously, I've continued to lose a little bit of weight every single week. But before, because I wasn't tracking anything, I was actually hugely overeating in fats and oils and different things because my chef was cooking for me, and he was just like cooking with loads of like healthy foods that were really, really high in fat. And I just found myself putting on more and more and more weight. So being able to track my calories this way has really been beneficial for me. It's really opened up my food repertoire. It's given me the opportunity to eat foods that are not inflammatory, that are not causing a lot of digestive discomfort. And I've really enjoyed just having a much wider variety of food. I think as I've gotten older, I've just enjoyed a wee bit more variety. So hopefully that's helpful. Tracking is what I would recommend, but if you don't want to track it, just introduce small, amounts of new foods daily, and just see where you are at the end of the week by measuring your progress pictures. Brooke Amber Bammer. My goal right now is to do 5 days a week of 30 minutes cardio. Sometimes I wish I could do it in less days. Is there a benefit to spreading it out over 5 days versus condensing it into 3 days of longer sessions? Look, I don't know the answer to this. Technically, let me think. Technically, I can't see any reason why doing longer sessions of cardio on less days would hinder your results. The only thing I would say is whenever you do cardio in your fat burning zone, you get what's called an exercise post-oxygen consumption, EPOC effect, which means that even after you have stopped doing the exercise, your body still continues to burn calories because your heart rate is obviously still raised. You're still in the fat burning zone, you probably get off the treadmill or come in from your walk or whatever you're doing, and you don't sit down straight away on the couch. You probably go and get changed. Excuse me. You probably go and get changed and, have a shower or, go to the car from the gym or something. So you don't stop moving after you stop doing exercise. So you do get a lot of post-exercise fat burning. And that you'd be missing out on that if you didn't do that 5 days a week. And that does count actually for quite a lot of calories. So that's the only thing that I would say that would be the thing that wouldn't be beneficial to squeezing it into shorter days. But I can't see any scientific reason why you wouldn't be able to, apart from missing out on the exercise post-oxygen consumption. So, but you know what I would say? Try it and see. Like, if you're measuring and you know why you're doing your cardio and you have a goal that you're working towards with doing your cardio, well, try doing it this new way and measure it for 4 weeks and see, did anything change? And if it didn't, great. Then I'm all for experimentation. So experiment with it and see how you go. That's what I'd recommend. Celeste Pinkham. How do you maintain low body fat after a shred while increasing your calories and decreasing or stopping cardio? Excuse me, I'm going to have to step after sneezing. Celeste, that's the $1 million question. You really can't maintain low body fat after a shred. Your body fat will always go up. But what you want to do is you want to maintain it at a level which is still relatively low, I guess. But the body fat level that you keep will be determined by the amount of calories you eat, the amount of muscle that your body has, and by the amount of exercise that you do. So I have some friends in the fitness industry who are cardio junkies. They've been training a long time, so they have muscle, but they are literally cardio junkies. They do cardio all the time. I have a friend, and every time I see her in the gym, she is on some kind of cardio machine. She must do about an hour's cardio every single day, and she is really lean. Like, she is in what I would call almost competition shape all year round. But how she maintains that is doing literally 60 minutes of cardio every single day. Like, she is addicted to cardio. She also strength trains, so therefore she keeps a lot of muscle. She also controls her diet. And that's the only way that you can stay low body fat, is keeping your cardio up and keeping your calories lowish, and continuing to strength train. There's no other way to do it. You literally cannot stop doing cardio and maintain low body fat. Like, you can't. It depends on what you mean by low body fat. You know, I didn't do cardio for about a year there. Well, not a year, about 6 months. And I went from about 15% body fat, probably up to about 20% body fat. And I'm back down to about 15% now. So, and that is from doing cardio. So you have to do cardio. There's no way that you can maintain low body fat percentage if you don't keep up your cardio. There's no way that you can maintain a low body fat percentage if you're not controlling your calories. Low body fat is simply an equation of calories in versus calories out. So you either have to continue to eat super low calories, which isn't good because then your metabolism will downregulate to those calories, or you have to continue to do a lot of cardio. And that's the only way to make it happen. What you're asking for is literally impossible. No cardio, and increased calories and staying shredded. It's just not possible. And if you can ever figure out a way to make that happen, pack it into a pill and sell it, because you will be a billionaire overnight. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to keep doing cardio, and you're going to have to keep measuring your calories. And then the other thing about it is finding the sweet spot is important. So you will find the sweet spot of, you know, how much cardio does it take and how many calories does it take to maintain what it is you want to maintain. It's usually a lot more than you would think. And it's just up to you how hard you want to work. But your body shape and your body composition will directly reflect, will be a direct result of how hard you want to work. The harder you work, the leaner you will be. The less you work, the less lean you will be. That's just bodybuilding, unfortunately. Okay, let me finish my tea while I drink the next ones. Maiken has the next question. I just had to gulp it because it was getting cold. Hi, Kim. If I reach a goal for building muscle, for example, I'm finally happy with how big my biceps are, what should I do to keep it that way? So here is the one thing that we always teach. And that is, what builds the muscle keeps the muscle. So what builds the muscle keeps the muscle. So however you built your biceps, continue to do that. And don't ease off in weight. Don't ease off in sets. Don't ease off in reps. Your body will keep exactly the amount of muscle it needs for the exercises that you are doing. So let's say you get to a point where you can curl 30-pound dumbbells. If you stop curling 30-pound dumbbells and you go back to curling, if you think, gosh, my biceps are big enough, so I'm going to stop curling 30 pounds, I'm going to drop back to 20 pounds, your body will drop muscle off your biceps back to the amount of muscle that it needs to curl 20 pounds. That's it. So what builds the muscle keeps the muscle. If you're happy with your muscle size, then keep doing what you're doing. And in fact, you have to keep doing more than what you're doing, because as we get older, we start to suffer from sarcopenia, which means that the body will start to break down muscle tissue naturally. Your body doesn't want to keep the same amount of muscle tissue. So you actually have to continue to do more each time, or each year, or each month, or whatever, so that you maintain the same amount of muscle. It becomes harder as you age to maintain the muscle that you have. So don't ever think that you can reach a point where you're happy with your body and then you just stop. You're always pushing for more. But the other thing that happens is, at some point you reach your muscular threshold, if you like I am at my muscular threshold now. I'm at my strength threshold, which means that whenever I go to the gym 4 times a week, which I do consistently, I'm lifting the same weights that I've been lifting now for probably 6 months. Like I did make an increase in weight in the last, 2 years. I took about a year off training. And then I actually dropped back in weights a little bit. But the interesting thing, I didn't take it completely off. I just didn't train anywhere near as hard as I had been. And whenever I started back into proper heavy training, what happened was my muscles actually very quickly went back up to where they were and then very quickly grew beyond. So me taking a step back from training for a year was actually really good for my strength. However, the interesting thing is I'm nowhere near as big as I used to be. I used to have a lot more size. So my muscle is dense and my muscle is strong, but I'm nowhere near as big muscularly, which I'm actually happy about, because there was a point there where I really was almost too big muscularly. I was finding it hard to fit into, my jeans, and jackets didn't fit anymore. So I'm really happy with the body composition that I have now. But, I am consistently doing 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 200, about 260 kilogram incline hack squat. Now I've gone up, and it's funny because I go between doing 240 kilograms and 260 kilograms. And that's because, in fact, sometimes I go back to 220 kilograms. I go between 220 and 260, but that's because 260 is literally my top weight, and that is really hard for me. But it always seems to happen that whenever I get to 260, something happens, like I go away on vacation, or I hurt myself, or I do something, and then I have to take a week or two off training, and then whenever I start back again, I have to drop back on weight, and I usually drop back to 200 kilograms or 220, and then this week I went back up to 240, and then next week I'll probably go back up to 260. And so, but 260 is really the very, 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 very top of my potential right now. And in order for me to sustain that and even build on that and add more weight, I would have to stay at that weight consistently, without injury, without vacation, without break, for a long period of time, in order to be able to go up again from that. And that's what happens. Like, same with bicep curls, same with lat pull downs. I was training back today. I do a 95 kilo lat pull down. I do a 90 kilo close grip pull down on the machine. Like, I've gone, whenever I was training 2 years ago, I was doing an 80 kilo lat pull down, and now I'm doing a 95 kilo. So I've gone up 3 years ago, I've gone up 15 kilos in 3 years, 5 kilos a year. So what happens is you reach a point with your body composition where you're really at the top of your genetic potential. And the only way to really get any bigger is to start taking anabolic steroids, or, well, I don't even know actually any other way to get bigger. You just keep training as hard as you possibly can. But at some point you're going to reach your genetic potential of what your body as a woman can do. And so you never stop pushing. People always say, well, what happens if I get really big? I'm like, you won't, first of all. And if you get as big as you're happy to get, that's great. But don't stop pushing, because your body will grow more in the first couple of years than it ever will beyond that. It's not like the same rate of growth that you experience in the first year will keep happening year on year. It won't. So you will reach a point where you'll be at the top of your potential. You'll be at the top of your lifting potential, and you won't be able to do any more. And you just keep going. And if you ever reach there, congratulations, because it's a beautiful place to be, because you have literally reached the point where you have maxed out in what you can do. And that's a great place to be, because you can congratulate yourself and say, I have worked as hard as I can possibly work, and I'm here, I've arrived. And now all I have to do is try to maintain this. And let me tell you, it is super hard to maintain it without injury, without having to take a break, and then you're always chasing the top again. So what happens is you get to the top of your genetic potential, and then something happens. Like I said, you go on vacation, or you have an injury, or you have some reason you have to stop training for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And then you can't go back into that weight that you were doing before. You have to drop back. So then your new goal becomes to get back to where you were. So you're always chasing that top line again of where you were, and that becomes your new goal that you're chasing towards. If you kept training year on year, you would never get to the point where you were curling like 50 kilo dumbbells. Never. You're just not genetically made up for it. Even if you took massive amounts of anabolic steroids, it just ain't happening, right? Your body just isn't built that way. It's never going to happen. So always keep pushing as hard as you possibly can, because it gets harder and harder and harder to maintain as you get older. Carrie Ann Hill. She says, I'm so sad to see the end of Extreme Menopause Body Makeover. I'm planning to start the new challenge. I think she means Buns and Guns in the app. And was wondering if this Facebook page will be closed after this program is done. I will miss all these girls. So no, we're not closing the EMBM Facebook group. It's staying open. We're still going to coach inside it. Everyone's still going to be there. Everyone's still going to be working through the program. You're still going to be able to access the coaching calls. Everything stays the same. So don't worry. You got lifetime access when you bought that program. And so lifetime access means lifetime access to the group as long as the program is in existence, because obviously, you know, lifetime means like if I'm 90, I'll be here like, oh, just here doing a wee Q&A for you, and you'll be like curling your 1 pound dumbbells, you know what I mean? Like at some point, you know, the company may be sold or something may happen, and so lifetime means lifetime of the program for as long as we can service it for you. But yes, the program will stay open, and the program will stay open, the Facebook group will stay open, the coaching will stay open. You have lifetime access to all of that, so you don't need to worry about it closing. Great questions today. Christine Cardona, when exactly is the last date we will receive the Zoom calls? There is no last date when you will receive the Zoom calls. The Zoom calls are yours as part of EMBM for as long as they are in existence. So there is no end date for those. No end date at all. And again, Lindsay's asking the same thing. How does the lifetime coaching work when we finish this program? So just to clarify for everyone, in EMBM, the Facebook group stays open. So the coaches will still coach in the Facebook group, and you get lifetime access to the Zoom calls. What will happen though is the people who join the coaching in the app will join the Zoom calls with you, which is great because it keeps the Zoom calls fresh and vibrant, and it keeps, you know, loads of new people asking loads of new questions. It's going to be a really great way to keep everything super fresh. So that is how the coaching works. Mimi Wood. Hi Kim, in one of the previous masterclasses, you said you wouldn't bother doing drop sets on a small muscle group like triceps to reach failure, as all the muscle fibers have most likely already been recruited. I don't have a spotter, so I've been doing rest pauses on my final set of everything to hit failure. Are there any other groups that this might not be necessary on? So the thing is, it doesn't really matter how you reach failure, as long as you know, if you rest and then go again, and then pause for a second and then go again, and then pause for a second, go again, then you've reached failure. If you do a drop set to reach failure, you've reached failure. If you reach failure by doing 15 reps, like on triceps, for example, if I'm pressing down and I'm getting on my final set and I get to 10 reps and I know I have more there, I do 2 more. If after 2 more, my arms are still moving, I do 3 more. If after 3 more, my arms are still moving, I'll do 2 more. I will go until my arms don't move anymore. And I'm usually pressing down about 70 kilos. So there's no point in me doing a rest pause or a drop set, because I am really, 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 really lifting to the very, very top of my potential. So if you're doing that, you're doing rest pause sets or doing drop sets really isn't necessary. But as for any other groups, yeah, I don't do any rest pause sets. The only sets that I would do them on, only sets I would do drop sets on, are things like bench press, incline bench press, shoulder press, on side raises. So a lot of shoulders, right? So I would do my final set of side raises with, say, 17 kilos, and then I would drop to 12 kilos, and then I would drop to 7.5 kilos. So just to really burn out the muscle. So I don't really do it ever on back day. I wouldn't do it on back day ever, on any exercise on back day. Shoulders, I wouldn't do it on reverse, on rear delt flies. Wouldn't do it on upright rows. Wouldn't do it on front raises. Biceps, wouldn't really do it in biceps either. No, I don't know. I think I just gauge, do I need a rest pause or do I need a drop set in order to really feel like I have reached failure? The problem with an overhead shoulder press is if you go at the very top of your weight, which for me is about 20, 40, 60 kilos, say, if I go to the very top of my weight, I can only get about 4 reps, and 4 reps isn't enough. But the reason why I can't get any more than that is because I literally reach a sticking point. So my muscle still has more to go. Like I still could lower the bar down. If someone could lift it to the top, I could still lower it. So my muscle hasn't failed. I've just failed to get past the sticking point. So I think that's probably a good gauge. Have you failed to get past a sticking point, but there's still more fuel in the tank, in the muscle tank? If yes, then you need to do a rest pause or you need to do a drop set. If you have failed because your arms don't move anymore, then you really don't need to do one. And I think that's the gauge that you, that you need to think about. Like whenever you're doing a tricep press down, for example, like you can literally go until your arms can't move anymore, because you can kind of rock and really push that bar down, or sorry, push the rope down. So you can do that, obviously. Whereas on an overhead press, like there's no way to get through the sticking point. Same as on a squat, there's no way to go down and get back up through the sticking point unless you have a spotter. So anywhere where there's a sticking point, where if you got past that sticking point, you could actually push more. You could, continue to push to the top. That's when it's really good to do drop sets, rest pauses, and other ways to, reach failure, because you can't reach failure any other way. So let me know if that makes sense. Okay, I'll take a couple of questions from the chat. What else have I got going on here? Loads of you are saying that's great, that's fantastic, blah, blah, blah. Carolee Zorn is asking, when is phase 3 coming out? So Carolee, there's really phase 3 is that there is no real phase 3. Phase 3 is simply just a document that we created for you, which tells you all about reverse dieting and refeeding. So phase 3 is really just how to refeed and how to integrate, back into normal life after a shred. So if you haven't done a shred, then you really don't need a phase 3, but that's really what phase 3 is. And I know Laura we were chatting about it on Monday. So I think that is something that she was, or chatting about it on Tuesday actually. So I do know that's something that she's putting together at the minute. And so I think it'll be probably the first week in April, I would imagine, is when, because I think the program ends the second week in April, or you guys finish, I think, on the 13th officially is the official date. So I think it'll probably be sometime around then. Okay, let me see what else we have going on here. There's some random comment keeps coming up from, it's obviously an automated comment every time I do a YouTube live, and it's like, if you want to join EMBM, click here. And I'm like, why does this keep coming up? Alrighty, what have we got here? Oh, Janice is asking, is there a way I can watch the recent lives? I think the last one was about Elka weight loss and transformation. Yes, Janice, if you go to, I'll actually post a link here for you now. If you go to YouTube, where is the most recent one on YouTube? I'm going to find a link for you here. Oh, actually, I think it's on the replay page. We did send out, like, if you registered, we sent out replays, but why is my most recent one actually not showing up here? It's really annoying. 16th. Oh, there it is there. 16th of March. Okay. Get shareable link. Let me paste this for you. Here you go. If you go here, click that link, you can watch the replay. And that's the full replay with the Q&A. In the very beginning, I forgot to turn my microphone on, so I'm talking away and everyone's like turning up their volume and trying to hear. And then they realized that my volume was down. So what else have we got going on? Will EMBM come back? Sophie is asking. No, or EBM, unfortunately it won't. So all we are doing at the minute is the app. So everything that we are running is going to be run inside the Sculpted Menopause app from now on. The Sculpted Vegan will still exist. I'm just not sure what to do with it at the minute, because to be honest, every single member practically that we have in the Sculpted Vegan is menopausal or perimenopausal. So they've kind of, moved with us as we've grown, but we definitely don't have any plans to bring EMBM or EBM back, unfortunately. Just at the minute, all of our focus is going into the app. Okay, Celeste is asking, if my traps are engaging in lat pulls, is the weight too heavy? No, your traps will always engage in lat pulls. Like what you want to make sure that you're not doing, though, which a lot of people do, is this. Like they lift their shoulders like this, right? And they go like, that's what you don't want to be doing in a lat pull down. You want to make sure that you are allowing your arms to come up and that you're pulling back like this. You want to make sure you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together on the back. So you want to lean back. A lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't lean back in your lat pull down. You should absolutely lean back in your lat pull down. There is no way for you to force your chest up and engage your lats on the back and squeeze your shoulder blades together if you're not leaning back. So whenever I'm doing a lat pull down, I look like this from the side, right? This chair is so squeaky. I look like this. I'm actually almost lying down in my last heavy set, like this. Like that is how much I'm moving in my lat pull down. So you have to allow your lat to stretch all the way up, okay? To really almost be pulled out of the socket before you engage at the top and boom, like really pull it down hard. A lot of people think that you have to try and have this like control the whole time. Like control means that you're only moving your arms. So I see people doing this. And they're trying not to move their body. And I'm like, if you don't move your body, you can't engage your lats. Like you're not actually engaging your lats. If you're doing this, you're not engaging your lats. You're only moving your shoulders. You have to allow this bit here. Let me just take this out of the thing. So your lat here, you have to allow it to actually stretch all the way forward like this, right? So watch like this. So do you see how, I'm actually going to take this off. I'm going to show you this properly. So when you are, now I've got this and I feel like I need to try and hold it. Let's see if I can do this here. So whenever you are doing I feel like I have to hold the microphone now. Whenever you're doing a lat pull down, you're working this part here. So see this, let me see if I can, see that bit that I'm like tensing? Like that's your lat. Do you see the bit? I'm going to have to pull this out, hang on. I'm chatting away to you and there's no fucking sound, right? So I'm going to have to do that again. Well, hopefully you heard what I was saying. I didn't realize it had muted my mic. I'm really sorry. So what I was saying was, you want to make sure that you in a lat pull down, you want to make sure that your lats are being pulled all the way up, and then whenever you come back, you're leaning back, right, and squeezing your shoulder blades together on the back. I see people do this, right? This is what they do. They lift up their shoulders like this, and they go like this, and they try and keep their body they try and keep their body still, and it's like, no, okay? And I'll show you it again from the back so you can hear what I'm saying. So if you're here, most people do this, okay? Completely wrong. That's not what you should be doing. Let me just pull this down a bit here so I can show you. Whenever you're doing a lat pull down, make sure you can actually see, you should be being pulled up, so your lats are being pulled right out like this, and then you lean back like this, and you pull your shoulder blades together on the back. You're not doing this. It's not up and down. It's forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. So you're isolating and pulling into your lats. So your lats are activated whenever you're pulling your shoulder blades together. Most people just don't pull their shoulder blades together. They think that they're doing this up and down, but they're not. You have to actually like force your chest up and pull your shoulder blades together. That's why it's impossible to do a lat pull down sitting square. You can't just sit there in your thing and do this up and down. And anyone who goes, you shouldn't be rocking, doesn't know what they're talking about. They don't know how to activate the back muscles. As long as you're getting full stretch and full squeeze, and as long as, the thing I always ask myself is, could I hold this at the bottom for a nanosecond? No, even if I've got 95 kilos on the bar, if I went up and pulled it down, in my head, I'm always trying to pause for a second. And I'm like, if somebody said to me, hold, and I was here, could I hold? Could I be like, back, and like hold for a second? If the answer is yes, you're doing it correctly. You're engaging your lats. If the answer is no, if you're like this, if you're like, you're just like being, sprung back up again, then you're not doing it correctly. So unless your chest is forced up, unless your lats are engaged on your back, you're not doing it correctly. So really focus on not lifting your shoulders up like this. Don't do this. This is what people do. Your lats will be engaged. Your lats will be working. Your lats will move. Your lats will sometimes pick up a wee bit of the slack, but that's okay. But just make sure that they're not up around your ears is what I would say. Okay. You guys are like, we get what you're saying, even if we can't hear you. This is so funny. What else have we got? Karani33 here on YouTube is asking, I keep hearing the need for postmenopausal women to lift heavy to really build muscle and support bones. If I do the at-home workouts on the app with dumbbells, will this give me what I need? So it's not that you need to lift heavy. You need to lift to failure. So the fastest way to lift to failure is actually to lift heavy weights. That's the easiest way, because load equals, force equals mass times acceleration. What does that mean? The force you place on the muscle is a multiplication of the amount of weight you have on by how fast you can move it. So the more weight you have, the slower it will move, okay? So that equals a greater force. That is the fastest way to build muscle. If you don't have a big load, or you don't have a gym membership, or you just don't want to go to a gym, it's totally okay. You can train from home instead using dumbbells.
you just have to use a different technique, which is volume training. So, what you do in the app, for example, is you do more volume training. So, you will do higher reps so that the muscle burns and causes a lot of metabolic stress on the muscle. So, what you're doing is you're causing muscle trauma through creating a buildup of lactic acid in the muscle, which is it causes the metabolites to kind of shake and move around, which causes trauma to the muscle. The trauma isn't as big as the trauma that will be caused if you lift heavy loads, which is why lifting heavy loads makes the muscles grow faster. But speed isn't always the most important thing. Some women go to the gym and they think they're lifting heavy weights, but they're really not lifting anywhere near their potential. And so they would almost be better to train at home with lighter weights and higher volume and more burn because they would get better results. Going to the gym doesn't necessarily equate faster results. You have to go to the gym and lift heavy weights beyond what your body is currently capable of doing in order to really see good results and build muscle. We have designed the workouts in the app, the home workouts in the app, to be an absolute and utter killer. Like, I was watching, they're all levels, by the way. If you just stop or choose a lower level, the instructors always give different levels. They start with beginner. If you're more intermediate or you're more advanced, go to these different levels. But I was watching some of the workouts we recorded the other week, and I was like, there is no way I could do this workout. Like, I could do it, but I was like, oh my God, like the burn. My muscles were burning just watching Amy recording the leg workout. She was doing this one with dumbbells where she had like her leg on a chair doing a Bulgarian split squat. And she was doing so she went down in a Bulgarian split squat and then she leaned forward into a half Romanian deadlift, and then down into a squat and then forward into an RDL. And I was like, I was just watching her glute. I had like her quad and then her glute getting the extension, then her quad and then her glute. And I was like, that was a killer. And I was thinking, I might actually do some of those home workouts myself just to supplement my own training. Although they're so hard, I actually wouldn't want to sacrifice my own training, which I do because leg day's hard enough. So anyway, I was just like, yeah, Suzanne is saying that killed me. Couldn't walk for ages. So yeah, the girls in the app are saying that they are like pretty significant. So yes, the answer is yes. You can actually get really, really good. You can get really good results training from home. It's not about lifting heavy load. It's actually about lifting to failure. Okay, let me just check. Are there any more questions before I move on? Can't see any more in Facebook. Maria is saying, I love the app. I'm trying all levels to see which is best. I love that. Just experiment with it, play around with it. We're going to continue to add more and more and more workouts to it. So this app is going to be an evolving platform which is going to continue to grow. Like, it's just going to be phenomenal. I honestly can't wait to see where it goes. For those of you who are thinking of joining the app, by the way, the discount is ending at the end of March. It's currently discounted by 50%. Buns and Guns is starting onboarding week on the 21st of this month, 21st of March, 2025. And if you're watching this as a recording, then obviously it's too late. The competition actually starts on March 31st. Which is exciting, and you can join for 12 weeks or you can join for 12 months, completely up to you, and you can pay in full or you can pay monthly. What else? You guys, there's just loads of chat here. There's a question about getting six-pack abs. I really want to get a six-pack. Do you have any workout video recommendations that I do daily? So here's the thing about a six-pack. Everybody has one. It's usually just very well hidden under a layer of fat. So I don't ever train abs ever, because your abs get trained whenever you're doing tricep press downs, whenever you're doing deadlifts, whenever you're doing squats, whenever you're doing leg workouts. Your abs actually get trained doing all of those different exercises. And so I don't ever train abs specifically. Quite often, what a lot of people don't know is that training your abs will actually make them bigger, because it'll make your waist thicker, because you're adding more muscle onto your waist, and you kind of don't want to do that. You want to add you want to make a lot of women want to make their waist slimmer. So I don't ever train abs, but how you get really good and defined abs is simply by losing a huge amount of body fat, because everybody has a great set of abs. They're usually just very, very, very well hidden. Mine are quite well hidden at the minute too. I have a wee like ab line down the middle, but I've actually got a period at the minute, so I'm holding on to so much water. I think I measure my weight about every week, and whenever I have my period, I put on, or just before my period's due that week before, my weight goes up and up and up and up, and my weight stays very steady at about 68.8 kilograms. Whenever I have my period, my weight goes up to between 70 and 71 kilograms. So my weight goes up 2 to 3 kilos, which is 4.4 to 6.6 pounds. So let's say an average of 5 pounds. I put on 5 pounds of water weight whenever I have a period. And I do still have periods. They're kind of very sporadic now and quite far apart, but I do still have regular periods. And I put on 5 pounds of water whenever I have a period. So that's why the scale just is not a good way to measure your progress. And also, you can feel very fat and bloated and like whatever, depending on where you are during the month. And then after I've had a period, I'm like, it all sucks in again. I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually thin. I thought that I would put on loads of body fat, but I hadn't. I just had a period, which made me feel and look a lot more overweight than I was. Okay, guys, that is it for the Q&A today. Thank you so much for being here. Amy Will, I'll just get this one in quickly. She says, I've heard after the shred phase, I can't stay in that time frame forever. If I'm happy with my physique, how do I continue to look cut? You have to continue to do cardio, and you have to continue to monitor your calories, and that is really the only way. The people who stay super lean all year round are the ones who do the most cardio. You have to do, like, I have a friend who does honestly 45 to 60 minutes cardio every day, and she controls her calories and she strength trains, and she looks like super lean all year round. I do not look super lean all year round because I do not do 60 minutes of cardio and will never do 60 minutes of cardio every single day. But if I did, I would be super shredded. That's really the only way to achieve it. So the harder you work, the more shredded you will be, and the better your results. But it goes against the principle of building muscle. Sometimes you need to cut back on the cardio and you need to eat more food in order to give yourself a good period of building muscle, because food is nature's natural anabolic. So the more food you eat, the more your muscle will grow, as long as you're working hard enough to actually grow it. And that is the secret. Okay, my team, my lovely, lovely team, thank you so much for being here. And you're all saying you loved the lat pull down. I loved doing it. It's great. I'm really enjoying these Q&As. I'm actually loving sitting here in my pool room with the sun streaming in. It was super warm. My daughter messaging me now. So chat with you guys on Monday. Be back again Monday, same time, 4 p.m. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Have a wonderful weekend wherever you are. And I will see you all on Monday at the same time. Sending lots of love. Take care. Bye for now.